smile. Big smile.
Hey!
We're just over halfway through the season.
How you guys doing?
8 straight losses. Still doesn't feel like enough somehow. Yay.
I know,
8.
you got to say it's the number one rated podcast. I get
Which
it.
is also the number of goals that the Blackhawks gave up tonight.
On what, 9 shots? For Christ's sake, honest to God, like I could rarely say this. Craig and I might have been able to stop 1 out of 8 in that game.
Yeah. Seriously.
Are you-
Peter Mrazek, 4 goals on 5
and
shots
7
out.
shots.
Welcome to the
Alex
CHGO
Salek, 2 shots, 2 goals.
post-game show.
I think I could have done that well.
All right, this is not the CHGO Blackhawks postgame show. This is the PHNX Coyotes postgame show, brought to you by the one and only DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a 5-star review. Vaguely sober in it early with the super chat. Keep the tank alive. Thank you. Colorado won 7-0 today, so good night for the DNVR chat, I guess.
Kind of wishing I was vaguely sober.
Weird night for the CHGO chat, I would imagine.
Do you see the final?
I don't really know what our chat's gonna be.
I didn't see the final in Chicago.
What was it, bigger?
8-3. Oh,
they came got a couple more.
Look at them.
If
tried
they
to rally.
scored on their 5 of the first 6 shots.
How many shots did they give up?
I don't.
I know we're off track here.
I don't know.
But
I don't really,
it's kind of our brand at this point.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, this game, not gonna lie, like it wasn't the most thrilling. I guess it was a close game, 2-1. Great, more competitive. They were in it at the end. I mean, they could have scored any second there in the last minute. So for morale, maybe better. For us, just another loss in the
Like, I mean, for me, like my sources of frustration tonight had nothing to do with the Coyotes. 1, the Blackhawks. 2, the Canucks and Canadians both lost 1-goal games. The Canucks had a lead, and then, well, they almost gave it away. Columbus almost gave it away. They had a 4-0 lead going in the third period, 1-4-3 in Detroit. So that's good at least because they're only 3 points up on the Coyotes, tied with the Ducks right now.
Yep.
Anyway.
There's another super chat early from CWP.
CWP, who we saw last night.
Dobson Ranch last night.
The OG.
Yes.
Diehard OG.
$8 super chat. 8 is great for the tank. HKTDD. Love it. Thank you so much, Charles. We appreciate you. And I love that you send specific amounts of money that mean something.
But I wonder with this one, though, Leah, because they got through the first period. It was a great first road period. I mean, it's 0-0 through the period. Shots were actually, they were ahead in shots after the first. And you go, that was a perfect road period, especially in Minnesota, because if you can keep the crowd quiet and keep them out of it, you actually might have a chance. So 0-0 after one and out shooting them. I thought it was a great start for them on the road. And I thought Ingram played extremely well.
He did.
And he looked sharp. And I said, gosh, this may be. Because I'll tell you what, as sharp as Ingram was early, Fleury I thought was shaky with rebound control. I thought things were hitting. We saw it late in the third where the one rolls off his head. The actual Crouse goal hits him in the head and goes in. And Minnesota's given up a lot of goals over the last couple of games. So I thought that maybe they'd get a lucky one and they might be able to pull through tonight. But then the second period happened. And I tell you what, the second period has been good to the Coyotes. Not tonight. They got just blasted in shots, power plays, penalties.
5-on-3.
5-on-3s.
For a minute 17.
That's the difference of the game.
Which could have been longer, but luckily it wasn't. However, they scored with 7 seconds to go on that. The shots were 15-8 in the second. And there was really
and it's because of the power plays.
Yeah. But you know what? The Coyotes, they came back. They gave themselves a chance. Lawson Crouse, which we'll talk more about him in a bit. And then a little bit of luck on their side with the Kaprizov goal getting overturned for offside, which was a bummer.
Somebody spotted it right away. I don't know who it was.
It wasn't me. It was Craig S. Morgan.
It was.
Yeah, as he can't even read the screen from here. But no,
that's
I called
what's so
that
shocking
one.
about
I
it.
know. Which, if you could read the
Jesus.
screen, you would see this comment from Roaring Fork that said, "I knew there'd be a day when we see something stuck to the bottom of Craig's shoe."
Do I have something stuck?
Yeah,
this
you
is
do.
Awesome. It
Look
is
on the-
staying there the entire show.
No, it's gonna drive me nuts.
Nope.
I know. I didn't see it either.
Can somebody get? Let's have guesses as to what's stuck on the bottom of my shoe. Go ahead in the chat.
This is what we have to talk about tonight. What's
That's
stuck
awesome.
to
What's
Craig's
stuck
shoe?
to the bottom of Craig's shoe? Wrong answers only.
Yes,
Exactly.
There we
that's
go.
a better
Okay.
game. That's a better game. Yeah. Okay.
That's
I
it. The
really.
show's over.
I quite literally have nothing else to
And
say.
for this game, you said that, and it was. Maybe I'm wrong. Was it a little boring?
Yeah.
A little bit. Like
Because there's close games that you feel the thrill.
Yeah, and it's back and forth and great saves and great action. I don't know if that was it.
Yeah.
I just want Leah to look at the bottom of my right shoe.
Okay, now I see it.
Does it really look like something stuck there? As more, it's almost like I'm not going to answer. Actually, I can't answer. People have to guess.
Well, I see what it is.
Okay,
I
good,
see
good.
what it is too, but it's driving me crazy.
Okay.
Okay. Well, let's try and get back on track. Let's look at the numbers tonight. Again, this kind of helps paint the picture of the lack of excitement, I guess. Did the Coyotes really outshot the Wild?
Yeah.
Wow. 28-27 shots. 0 for 1 on the power play.
I'm not going to check my math.
It wasn't it?
Oh, it was so
It was a
dull.
dull game.
What?
I'm not going to check my math, but I think that's the 4th time that they've outshot an opponent and the 3rd time they've lost while doing that.
Woo.
Minnesota 1 for 2 on the 5-on-3 that I just mentioned. And yeah, I mean.
But what do we say about it should have been 2 for 2 because the other guy on their second goal hadn't returned inside the blue line to help defend yet, right? Like it's still, I know statistically it's not a power play goal.
Oh, yeah, that second one. So it might as well have been.
Might as well have been.
Sorry.
What?
I'm just
Are
thinking
you
about
going to
it.
join
This
us?
could be a new segment for our show. What's on the bottom of Craig's shoe today?
You're just going to purposely put things on your
I'll
shoe?
stick some, or like on some other part of my clothing. I don't know. I might do it.
Speaking of clothing, we have another super chat from this one from Roaring Fork, $8.99. So PD can buy the pink version of the socks he's wearing tonight.
Look at those socks.
But I did it. But like I said to Leah before we went on air, everything they're ice blue from Minnesota. They got little drops of actually they're diamonds,
Oh,
but I'm
boy.
saying they're drops of
we are going to
water.
talk Minnesota
and
at
they're
some
ice
point,
blue.
aren't we?
Because it's cold there.
Yeah,
Did you see the shots of the outside rink?
I did.
It's cold, so I wore the ice blue today.
Okay.
Oh, boy. Oh,
There you go.
boy.
Sorry.
Can someone else host tonight? I don't feel like
you
it.
said you don't
My
have it.
God. Okay, let's look at your keys then, PD.
Let's go to the keys.
Let's go
Let's
to the
talk
keys.
about the keys of the game. So
Wow.
they hadn't scored a power play goal in 3 games, right?
Uh-huh.
Scored 1.5 tonight.
1.5 tonight. And I said in my tweet, I said Kirill the Thrill, and he was good. And I know that goal gets disallowed, but man, was he good.
What a shot.
So
What a shot. I
they
feel
did not-
bad that didn't count for him.
Oh, it's phenomenal. That one, you also don't get that one. Defended the house for Iggy because we saw the last game how poor this team was around defending their net front. I thought they were better tonight. I thought they did a better job getting under the sticks. I thought they defended better, and I thought they cleaned up the rebounds better for Ingram than they had for Veggie in the last game where they hung him out to dry. So I actually think they were successful in number 2. They just couldn't get enough pucks on net. And I know they outshot Minnesota tonight, but they didn't feel like they were ever threatening to score
Not
on
so
those,
much.
did they?
No.
Like the 28 might be a high number for them, but I never felt that they tested Marc-Andre Fleury. The most difficult shots he had were things that he self-inflicted and did to himself. So I'll give him half on that. So 1.5 for, 1.5 against leads to a 2-1 loss.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. And Michael in the chat, a little bit lower, not that one. Yes. Kind reminder, we swept the Leafs in 2022. Thank you, Michael. We needed a little dose of positivity, something to rally behind.
And I think that's something, and I know we built the what hangs in the rafters now at the mullet. I think that we can hang the entire season on that. Literally, if they don't win another game, we can finish the season knowing we beat
And PD,
this
have
team,
they
not
won?
we, 'cause
Have
we didn't
they
play.
won another game since then?
No.
So
But
it's really we
If
sold.
they don't win another game,
I'm fine.
they're getting one of those 3 guys.
there it is.
If they don't win another game for the whole rest of the
This is
season,
it. We should just
they're
put that as
still
our background.
somehow losing.
Put this
the-
as
the
our
draft
background
loss.
because it doesn't matter.
Draft 3rd
Because we beat
Yeah.
and I said we, I mean
with
they. 'cause
31 points.
twice. Toronto. They beat Toronto twice.
Oh, okay.
God, it's just one of those nights, isn't it?
I just okay. Lawson Crouse. We talked about him last post game show. He'd kind of been on a little bit of a cold spell. Scored in the last game. Scored again tonight. So it's good to see him finding his offense again. His 16th goal of the season. He still leads the team in goals despite not scoring for a solid stretch of time there. Great rebound off of Jack McBain's shot. Chychrun got the second assist. Continue to pad your stats, Jacob Chychrun. So happy for Lawson Crouse. Happy to see him kind of finding his game back, kind of like how Barrett Hayton has been on fire. He didn't get any points tonight, but still, I felt like had some chances and played pretty well.
He's getting the chance on that top line. That's
Yeah.
good. That's going to matter. He's going to get his chances playing with those guys. But yeah, I mean, 1 goal tonight. But Lawson Crouse still on that 30-goal pace.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, we
30
knew he had
goals
the
is a big
offensive side of his
number.
game. The one thing, and I've said this about him before, and I think I don't think he's trade bait, by the way. Let's
No.
start that conversation with, he's still a guy that doesn't get all of the offensive opportunities that other guys get, like Schmaltz and Keller. He's not on that first power play unit, but he's still going to vie for that. He's not getting every offensive zone start because that's going to 8 and 9 also, but he's going to threaten Clayton Keller in the lead of this team in goals this season.
Which is, I don't think I would have predicted that before the season at all.
I don't. We all liked his offense. We saw it coming last year. He was improving, and every year improved a little bit. It was a couple of years ago when he was snake bit and everything was hitting the post. And he was shooting things wide, and he was missing open nets. Now those pucks are going in, but he is, when you look at the statistics, like he's a legit scoring threat for this Arizona Coyote team, and he's one of those guys that doesn't get the recognition nationally or internationally that I think he deserves. I think he's overlooked at times, partly because we're here in the desert, but he's having a great season.
Yeah, and besides just the scoring and leading the team in goals, he had a big hit early in this game too. Like, he's not someone you want to mess with. He kind of has a more well-rounded game in that sense. He's not just someone who scores goals, but he's a big physical presence also.
To your point, what do you think the percentage of offensive zone starts he's getting this season?
I don't know.
38.6%. That's low.
That's low.
To produce 16 goals, to be on a 30-goal pace. That's
Yeah.
impressive. That speaks to his two-way game, too.
Exactly. And I think that's, again, what gets overlooked is how good he can do it. He kills penalties, too. And he does literally everything. He touches every aspect of this game right now. And he's one of the leaders, quietly one of the leaders of this team. And phenomenal beard. Phenomenal.
And now leads the team in best beard with O'Brien
With
out.
O'Brien out.
Yep. And phenomenal dog.
Yes.
I've heard that.
Amazing dog. Who will be walking
Frenchie.
and skating for Leighton.
Got more followers than all
you
three of
can-
us combined, that dog?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
I don't know.
It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Butter's a big deal.
I know.
This funny, Joel said, I guess Gunther's telling everyone how good that Bedard kid is on this.
Really?
Listen, I mean,
Yeah.
they've just been losing a lot, especially since he's
we
been
could
back.
really use that Bedard
Do we have
kid.
the Chris Peters clip?
Yeah, right. I think I did send it in, but yeah, we can just remember those words that he said.
And I'll say that to Nicholas's point too. We're talking about a team that doesn't win a lot of hockey games. Therefore, they don't score a lot. They're in the bottom third in the league in scoring. And to still have somebody putting up those kind of numbers even makes it that much more impressive. Like, you put them on a team, put them on Pittsburgh or Washington or a team that's scoring at a higher pace, and you go, okay, well, he's going to get 5 or 6 more goals just because they're scoring more.
Yeah, that is a good point. Thank you.
I wanted to talk a little more about Connor Ingram because we've talked recently about Karel Vejmelka's struggles, and I have wondered with this schedule how much it's been wearing on him. You know, he played really well. He was the biggest reason that they were not down with the Chicago Blackhawks.
That they were the freaking Chicago performance night.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but he's been showing some signs. I mean, I thought he played pretty well the other night, actually, in their last home game, but he just hasn't been the guy that we saw earlier in the season. You need your backup to come in and give you starts like this. I know they didn't win the game, but he hasn't had the numbers this season. His numbers, just to be blunt, his numbers haven't been very good. I know he was looking for an opportunity. There were some people that thought he might be one of those guys that deserved an opportunity to be in a number 2 role. This is a tough situation, obviously, to step in, but he came in tonight and he really he did what you want your backup goalie to do. He gave him a chance to win the game.
But I think he's done that in his last few starts. And I think the problem that he had was his first few starts. And I think it took him a while to settle in here. And that first game was almost unfair with all the travel he had done and he hadn't played and all of those things. I think his last few starts, he's looked pretty sharp. I thought he was sharp tonight. I definitely don't fault him on the goals tonight. The one was a defensive blunder and one's a 5-on-3 power play goal. I mean, I think he's played better. And that's the fear I have with Vejmelka is he plays better when he's rested. And the more you play him, the more you see what we've seen. And I don't know with this workload over the next few weeks prior to the All-Star
no way
break,
to rest him.
what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And even tomorrow, and I know you talk about a team that this team has won one game in Winnipeg in the last decade. One. And it was the last game with Vejmelka having 45 save shutout. I think the thought process was for sure when they picked the goalies for this weekend is, well, Veggie did such a great job in Winnipeg, maybe he can do it again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, his numbers. I mean, in 4 games against Winnipeg, he's got ridiculous numbers. But is that it's this big a sample? So,
but if Connor Ingram, I mean, if he plays better rested, and I know there's no opportunity for rest with this grueling schedule, but if Connor Ingram, had the game that he had tonight, like, do you maybe try and go for not a 50-50 split by any means, but do you maybe just try to do a bit more of, and I'm not even claiming that Connor Ingram's a 1B, but do you try to at least go more for that
maybe
format?
Up into the All-Star break at least, because they've got another back-to-back coming up, so he's going to play there.
If you're playing
do you try and alternate these guys for
I think he's got to play 1 out of every 3, so it's at least a 2-to-1, 2-to-1, 2-to-1. I think they just have to find a way to limp into the All-Star break and give everybody a good break. I am worried about tomorrow night, and I know we'll talk about tomorrow night later, but Vejmelka played so well. I think they're kind of putting all their eggs in that basket going, well, he shut him out last year in Winnipeg. He's going to do it again. Well, he's not playing like he did last year during that stretch. It's also coming off a back-to-back. That's a tough one. I'm concerned about tomorrow. And Winnipeg's a better team statistically and than they were a year ago. I mean, this Winnipeg Jet team is playing pretty good hockey right now. This is going to be a tough one. And honestly, when I know I'll give away the big keys to the game, Karel Vejmelka is going to be one of the top 3 keys tomorrow because he is going to have to play well against this incredibly high-powered Winnipeg offense. So,
yeah.
We'll see. I hope he plays well. I think he needs to get back on track if this team's going to stay in some games.
Yep, absolutely. Well, congrats to not Karel Vejmelka.
Congrats to him too.
Congrats to him, but congrats to Connor Ingram because he is tonight's DraftKings King of the Game. 25 saves. Ingy or
Ing is king.
Ing is king or Kingy.
Kingy.
That why not?
Kingy.
Okay. 926 save percentage, 25 saves on 27 shots. So Connor Ingram is tonight's DraftKings King of the Game, and he deserves it. So congrats, Ingy, and we hope to see you in the net a little bit more often, especially down the stretch here. If you bet the under in this game, congrats on cashing big.
I did not.
Maybe not for that. I want to bet today on DraftKings. DraftKings boosted Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown score to +100. So I threw the max on there. That cashed immediately. So thank you, DraftKings, for
First
the boost.
Possession.
Yep.
McCaffrey.
And I'm currently sweating the LA chart.
Yeah,
Not really sweating. It's 30 to 20.
It's a 10-point lead. How much time?
7 minutes left, and I have Chargers -2.5.
Yeah.
Which was our pick of the week earlier this week. So
from our locksmith.
From the Defen Lock. So
the Defen Lock.
There's a lot of ways to make money this weekend, especially with the NFL wildcard round. It's super fun. And there's a great promotion going on DraftKings right now with wildcard weekend. All new and existing customers can get a no sweat bet each day of the wildcard round this weekend. Just place any NFL bet of your choice, and if it loses, you'll get a free bet back up to $10. So if I lose this bet today that I'm watching right now, I'll still get a free bet back. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code PHNX for new customers. Bet $5 on the NFL and get $200 in free bets instantly. I love this type of promotion because it doesn't matter if they win or lose. You just bet it, and you'll get your $200. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code PHNX. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. And Charles is obviously here in the chat, but thank you to everybody who came out to last night's PHNX Tea Party at Dobson Ranch. We had so much fun. It was a phenomenal event. We saw Charles, we saw Drew, we met Amanda and Paris, who amazing stories about South America, by the way.
Yeah.
And
I'm not going to the Amazon. It's
I wasn't quite sold on the Amazon, but great to meet so many of you, and hope more of you can make it out to our next event. Thank you again to Dobson Ranch for hosting us. It was really, really fun.
And the weather was great too. We didn't have to hang out the heaters even.
We got
we had a perfect
so
night.
lucky.
Unlike tonight.
With the weather. Yeah, seriously.
Sorry, I'm not supposed to move the table.
Petey did hit some golf balls, so we have the video.
He hit 3 balls, and I haven't golfed in like a decade.
Yeah.
Not terrible from the left side of the ball. Not terrible. It's beautiful out there, but look at the sun shining. That was not sun, it was lights. But I was just trying to say it was beautiful.
And by the way, like right after that one, he hit one straight down the middle. So I have to give him credit.
But I also put one right down the right field line.
And
a dribbler down the right field line.
I've got that one. I'll save it for later.
Not coming out. Yeah, the dribbler down the right field line. So 3 balls, and that may be the last because at 50 something, After 3 swings of a 9-iron,
Yeah.
my knee is done.
Petey's having a knee replacement surgery.
My knee
this
is
offseason.
literally done.
Yes.
That is
Yep.
false.
That
but
might be the last 3 swings of my life.
But we did
My
have
God.
a beautiful sunset. We had good food. Ooh,
Yes.
Chop Shop was good
Chop
stuff. I
Shop,
know we're not doing
Mountain-
Chop
Everybody.
Shop Reed. Mountain Mike's.
Mount Mike's, OGs. Okay, we sampled they're non-medicated, but the flavor,
Oh,
the
my.
blackberries and cream. Are you kidding?
No,
That's
I
good.
was still creamsicle.
Unreal. Yeah, orange creamsicle, amazing. So it was just an unbelievable, my goodness, spit it out event. And we also took a photo in front of the Four Peaks, the literal wow bus, like the wow
Literal.
bus. So it was a lot of fun. And Craig and I were handed Four Peaks wows right when we walked in.
Mhm.
So I mean, any event that involves Four Peaks is great. And listen to this: the entire, like all of Dawson Ranch, completely sold out of Wow wheat beers last night.
Nice.
True
So,
story?
Yep, true story.
But I did not drink the WOW.
Kilt lifter.
I went with Kilt Lifter.
Yeah.
Which, you know something about it now, don't
I
you?
do know something about it now. Kilt Lifter is Four Peaks' top selling beer, with over 50% of their beer
Wow.
sales going
Look
to
at that.
Kilt Lifter.
Wow. The more you know.
The more you know.
Well, if you want to try Wow, if you want to try Kilt Lifter, come on to our last Wednesday of the month. We'll be there on January 25th. The last Wednesdays are back at the A Street Pub. So January 25th, we're the first show at 11. All of our shows will be live all day. Come hang out. Come have a couple drinks. Come have some chicken tenders. You don't have to be 21 to come to Four Peaks. You just have to be 21 to drink and enjoy responsibly. And you get those $3 beer specials at last Wednesdays when you mention you're with PHNX. So
Boom.
looking forward to that a lot. I want to address another comment before we move on to whatever else we're going to move on to about Clayton Keller. Obviously, he just got away with a $5,000 fine after his cross-check that resulted in an ejection. But he got another penalty tonight, and somebody mentioned he's kind of been on a cold streak, I guess, points-wise and
Mhm.
goal-scoring-wise.
Yep.
Do you guys have any thoughts on Clayton Keller's game right now? Is this just kind of like par for the course in an 82-game?
Yeah, I think
season
you
that
go
you
through
go
these
through
slumps. I
your-
mean, he's been facing attention for most of the season. They know that this is the line that you have to stop. But yeah, he's just in one of those spells where he's not producing. I think he's got, is it 7 games now in January? And I think he does not have points in 5 of them. So this is definitely his coldest stretch
He's got
of the
4
season.
attempts at the net. I don't think he's getting to the net like he did a little bit earlier in the season. He's got that perimeter game going a little bit right now. Yeah, honestly, we love to see Barrett Hayton in that spot. And we keep saying Barrett Hayton's doing great and Barrett Hayton's getting the opportunity. Let's face it, over the last 2 years, Clayton Keller's got more points with Boyd in the middle. At some point, if that line doesn't start to begin to produce, I wouldn't be surprised to see some lines struggling too. But Craig's point's dead on. I mean, when you're going to defend against the Arizona Coyotes, you defend Keller and Schmaltz.
Yep.
And that's who the top checking line, especially on the road. You get the opportunity to get the best checking line out against those that. There's nobody else. You're not going Draisaitl and then McDavid, and you go, well, we got to pick one.
No.
Panarin or Zibanejad, and they're breaking up. It's not that. So it makes it a little bit easier for him to defend, and I think that's causing him problems too.
But, maybe a couple of years down the line, there could be a different center
You never know.
between. How is that for a segue?
Is it
Ooh.
Matthews?
Maybe.
Bedard?
Maybe
Maybe.
Bedard.
Maybe Adam Fantilli.
Maybe Leo Carl.
Leo Carlson?
Yeah.
Huh.
Hey.
Huh.
Well, the NHL did release their mid-season prospect rankings, and we
NHL
have
Central
them
Scouting.
here. Yeah, so this is the I don't even know how to describe it, like the go-to source for this. And we'll start with the North American skaters. They separate them by North American and European, so this isn't like overall, besides obviously Connor Bedard, we know is probably the consensus number 1 across the board, but this doesn't mean that who's number 3 here is number 3 overall. But quickly running through the list, you got Connor Bedard at number 1, Adam Fantilli at number 2. We've talked about him a ton. Will Smith, if you listen to our Chris Peters show.
West Philadelphia.
He talked about Will Smith kind of being a shoo-in for a top 5 pick, in his opinion at least. And then it kind of goes to maybe some names at least I'm not as familiar with: Ryan Leonard, Braden Yeager, Oliver Moore, Zach Benson, Matthew Wood, Samuel Honzek, and Colby Barlow on the North American list. And then international, Leo Carlson, number
There he is.
1 on that list. Obviously another name we've been talking about, kind of in that 2-3 spot in the top 3. Matvei Michkov, another name he's kind of like bounced up and down, but all within the top 5, I feel like. And then I can't read all of these names like I did the North
just
Americans.
let them look at them.
But if you're watching on YouTube, you can see them here. Most of these other names I'm not super familiar with besides number 5, Edward Saleh.
So, PD, I got to ask you about this. Does it bug you that they separate these rankings into North American and European? Yeah, like
it always has. I don't understand it, and I'll tell you why. Because I remember back in mid 80s to the 90s, and you go, okay, I get it, because the leagues are so separate, you don't see them playing each other.
But see, somebody said that to me, and I was like, so you're telling me that the CHL plays the NCAA? Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, fair enough.
What are we talking about?
Yeah,
That's
Fantilli
true.
doesn't play in the same league as Bedard.
Yeah.
But agreed. But even a step further, in the last 15 years, the world continues to shrink.
Just put them on one list.
And these guys play each other all of the time. How are they not mixed?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. Because the NHL moves slowly.
But is it because they have different scouts watching? Like, they can't, because the North American skaters or the European skaters are skating in North America.
Yeah.
Some of them are playing in North American leagues.
Yes.
So
Thank
that makes
that
absolutely
makes
no
sense.
sense.
Because at first
agree.
I was thinking
It drives me crazy.
maybe it's because they play like on different sides of rinks, but it doesn't
In
matter.
some cases, they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the rinks aren't all international in Europe.
NCAA, there's some playing on Olympic-sized rinks, and there's some that are not.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
I
it
don't
makes
get
no
it.
sense.
no, I don't
Why
know.
do they do that?
I don't know. Bugs me.
I remember, too, Central Scouting, what you used to do, because teams didn't have the elaborate scouting, and there was no, I can watch any game on the internet tomorrow from anywhere in the world. There wasn't. They used to send out, true story, videotapes on VHS of the prospects, and they would go, prospect number 19, Shane Doan, and it would be that.
Oh my
You'd have
God.
5 or 6 players' highlights on a VHS tape, and they'd send you a set of VHS tapes with a ton of players on it, and that's how you watch your players. I swear, because I used to store them in the video room.
Not to take too big a diversion here, but in the days when the National Hockey League was running the Coyotes and Don Maloney was the general manager, he told me they had one part-time European scout, like a 25-year-old kid
Wow.
based in the Czech Republic. So he said, we basically gave up on Europe. We went off Central Scouting's
Yeah.
rankings because we didn't have the resources.
Wow.
Can you imagine doing that now? Like all the players that they might have missed or missed on if they actually
During that
did.
time.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
insane.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway,
Yeah.
there you go.
Well, Gary, listen. We have a list of things for you every show, and this is the next on that list.
Yeah.
Let's
Combine
get
the
Hey,
list.
One list.
one
one
list.
list.
One list.
It's only one list at the draft. Let's just make it one list.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, I always get excited thinking about the prospects because it's what helps me get through periods of time like what we're going through right now with 4 games a week, back-to-back Saturday and Sunday for 4 straight weeks, including an 8:30 p.m. against Anaheim on the final game of that stretch.
Are we literally the last game in the NHL that we
We have to
probably
be.
are? We have to be.
It's
I mean,
unbelievable.
LA
we'll shut
might
down
be
the NHL
also-
for the All-Star break with our show.
Yeah, now I've got to look.
It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And I know we talk about the schedule like every single show about how ridiculous it is. But it's ridiculous.
It is 15 games in 26 days. We've talked about that. Petey, help me remember this because I get them all jumbled up. The drive now from St. Paul to the airport, how long is that?
That's not bad. It's 15.
15
not
minutes. Okay. Then you hop on a flight to Winnipeg. That's a quick flight too, over the border. But
Customs.
got to go through customs.
got to customs for
Okay.
sure.
Now, the drive from Winnipeg to the hotel is not bad either, but you got to
Not
go through
bad,
customs. So
but-
you're getting in late.
You're getting late.
Yep.
And cold. Sorry.
Late,
But
cold.
by the way, the
It's
customs is a little
23
building.
degrees in Winnipeg.
Yeah, and that's that little building in Winnipeg. So you have
Yeah.
to walk from outside. It's a long walk. And when I say a long walk, I mean, it might be a football field. It might be 100 yards from the plane to the, and then you wait outside and
Yep.
like 2 or 3 guys can go into the little hut at a time. It sucks.
Yep.
And they're going to get in late and they have to play a team that's sitting at home and ready to play.
Yeah. A team that's playing its third game in 4 nights as well, but they're at home. Yes, they were off today, and they're sitting in first place in the Central Division too.
That's wild.
The schedule, something's got to give. I'm just going to go ahead and tease the story
Yeah.
that I have tomorrow. I spoke to Winnipeg Jets coach Rick Bowness today for a Q&A, but also for another story that I'm working on later. But, you know, in during the Q&A, we just got talking about other things, and we were talking about the schedule. Winnipeg's in the same sort of, if you look at their schedule right now, it's also insane. They just played 2 games on the road. They flew home from Pittsburgh last night. So today is one of those days that you talk about. It's lost.
It's a zombie day.
Yeah, it's a zombie day. And then you turn around and you're going to play another game. We were talking about a number of things. Like the players want this big break for the All-Star break, right? So that creates a condensed schedule elsewhere. That's part of what happens. So what are some of the solutions? We've talked about some of them. I don't know if you could extend the season out a little bit on either end to try and build in some more rest days. But one of the things that they did for a while during COVID was play series in cities. And then they abandoned it. The players loved it. The coaches loved it. The staff loved it. And they abandoned it.
And I'll tell you, it surprised me for a couple of reasons. One, the PA has a lot of weight in the NHL. And this is something that can, one, eliminate some travel, which makes healthier players because they're not as tired, which is good. For the owners, what does it do? It's a lot freaking cheaper because you're staying in a city, so you're not flying back to, to St. Louis twice. You're flying to St. Louis once.
Bingo.
And you now, instead of paying tens of thousands of dollars for a charter flight, you're paying for hotel rooms. So, and I know people. I think it builds excitement and rivalries. You get a little bit of tension in game 1 on a Thursday night. Guess what? Saturday night, we might see some fisticuffs. We might see more intensity.
Remember Coyotes Blues?
Yes, they played 7 straight games.
Oh my God,
that was insane.
Unbelievable.
I loved it.
But I don't have a problem with series. Baseball plays series and doesn't seem to bother anybody there.
Like some of the governors will say, well, there's not as much interest in the next game if a team stays for 2 games in a city. First off, I'm not sure I even believe that show to me. But secondly, you just mentioned, okay, if you maybe suffer a little at the box office, what do you save on what you're talking about on the travel?
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know if you do lose that though, Craig. I do. Yeah,
I don't know either.
I don't know because it's only going to affect in the West. Like you only go to Pittsburgh, Boston, those cities once anyway. So it's not those. We're talking about in the West.
Yeah.
And so you're already talking about teams either intra-division or interconference that you already have moderate rivalries with. Why can't you play them twice in one? Go to LA and play LA twice?
Yeah.
The one used to drive me crazy, and you know this too.
Yeah.
There was a season where they play LA, Anaheim, and San Jose 4 or 5 times each on the road, 1-game trips. Every single one. They never played LA and Anaheim on the same trip. And you're going, are you out of your mind? It's a bus ride.
Drive, yeah.
It's a bus ride. And you flew back and back and back. Sometimes I wonder if they just don't think when you do this schedule. And sometimes you fly farther west before you come back and play this way across the country. You go, well, like Edmonton and Calgary are right next to each other. Why are we flying to Vancouver first and then going back? It just drives you insane. And again, it all goes back to the wear and tear on these players. And you can look at the injury reports now. And I'm telling you, go look at I got a message from a former staff member in the NHL a few days ago saying the numbers we're seeing in injuries right now at the midway point are what we used to see in man games lost for the entire season. Now, whether that stat is true or not, he's in that side of the business. So he's close.
And there could be other factors, right? Like the speed of the game, things like that. But I think travel's definitely
the wear and tear on these guys, condensing games 3 and 4. This Coyote schedule in January is horrific.
Yeah.
Horrific the amount of games this team is playing. So let's hope they get through it. Knock on wood, they get through it injury-free.
And that's a point Rick Bowness made today. And beyond that, when you extend it out, okay, if players are tired, players are banged up, what's happening to the product? What is the quality of the product that you're watching on the ice when these teams are just gassed? I got to be honest. We watched a dull hockey game tonight.
Yeah.
We watched a dull hockey game. How much does that change if guys have a little bit more rest?
Yeah. So you can't even make the argument that the second game is going to be not as appealing when it's probably actually going to be a better hockey. And if you're thinking about what the Coyotes are proposing with the TED and the whole area around the arena, and you have the infrastructure to have hotels.
Yeah.
Just
let them settle.
Like, let's just say, I don't know, like Vancouver comes here for a series. And I know, we want it to be all Coyotes fans in the arena, but the truth is this market, it's a lot of transplants and snowbirds, and like we can make a trip out of it. And that helps like your city's economy.
Yeah, tourism.
And tourism. So I don't know. I'm totally on board. I agree with bringing series back, and we'll add that to our list of things for Gary along with the NHL scouting list being one. We have a $5 super chat from Altec ZZ. As a Blues and Coyotes fans, considering AZ moved back to the Central Division, why do they only come to St. Louis once this season?
I don't know. Ask the NHL schedule makers.
No, I'm looking right now because what it used to be is you'd play your division much more.
Yeah.
It would be 2 and 3. I don't know. Only guessing without diving and asking someone at the league is the additional teams now that you can't, because you have to play everybody in the East twice. And now so that takes up 32 of your games. Right. So now you only have 50 games left. And now you've added Seattle. And so I would assume adding Seattle in the Pacific has changed the way this works. I am surprised that they only play St. Louis once.
They should probably look at realignment. I don't know. Somebody might have some ideas.
You might make some. So I'm sorry, I'll text that I don't have a better answer than that. That's kind of a horseshit answer, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know, actually.
I don't know, because they do go to some cities in the Central twice. Yep. But I guess if you played every city in the Central twice, that's too many games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know.
Because there's 8, so that's 7, and 7 times 4 is 28. 28 plus the 32. Yeah.
Oh, don't ask me to do that.
That's 60.
Especially at this time.
So 60, that leaves 22 for the Pacific, and that's not enough games. So there are only going to be 3 games against some teams in your own division.
Yeah. So anyway, it was good to talk to Bones today, and
yes.
Wow, what a job he's doing in Winnipeg. And that's part of the discussion. It's basically a Q&A with Rick Bowness. And again, I said I have another story coming that he factors into as well. But, Petey, when you and I had him on the show, I figured this was it. We're talking to the guy in the final season of his career. Turns out, Bones thought that too.
Yeah, he did. And I talked to him several times. He's one of my favorite guys in the National Hockey League.
Yeah,
he's a fantastic guy. He's a really good coach, but he's a really good person. And I think that's why he's been so successful. And in Dallas, there wasn't, hey, you sucked. It's just time. Yep. They needed to make a change in Dallas. He was ready to make a change. He was ready to retire and move to the Valley. He was done.
Yep.
And he worked incredibly hard. 44 decades of hockey in the National Hockey League. And Winnipeg made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
That's where he started.
He started in Winnipeg. Yeah. He's still got friends in Winnipeg. And I didn't expect this. I thought this was going to be a complete rebuilding there, and that's why I'm concerned about tomorrow. This is a team that had a disruptive locker room, and he went in and took the C away from Blake Wheeler, and that's a huge move to take a C away from somebody. They've gone the whole year without a captain. They're in first place in the Central.
Mark Scheifele's got 26
goals. Which I don't even think I realized. Like, Craig, when you said that, I had to pull it up because I almost didn't believe you. And I can't believe that Colorado's 6th.
Right. So Mark Scheifele has 26 goals. Josh Morrissey's up for the Norris Trophy. Connor Hellebuck's up for the Vezina Trophy. Yep. Nick Ehlers is back in the lineup and scoring.
And they had a horrible year last year.
Yeah. So Kyle Connor, another guy who's just so underrated in the end. That's a really good team, and he's got them playing good hockey. Yeah. And in the way the West is going right now,
and to Leah's point, with Colorado that we all picked in the preseason to run away with the West, there was we said we didn't even think Vegas was going to be this good.
Craig and I forgot to talk about Winnipeg in our Central Division preview. Remember that?
I do remember that.
And so Vegas now is they're legit. I think they're playing extremely well. Colorado, everybody goes, they got to get healthy. They're going to get healthy. They're going to get healthy. At some point, you run out of games.
Yep.
Like you can only wait so long. They are going to have to get healthy if they're going to make a run in this playoffs like they did before, because they're going to have to play together. We'll see. So right now, I don't count Winnipeg out in the playoffs. You just can't.
The West feels wide open to me right now.
Yeah, but
wide open.
I even Edmonton. Edmonton's for sure. Well, are they though?
What?
Something happened in the football game.
Oh my God!
Oh my God! The Jaguars hit a walk-off field goal to win. They came back from 27-0.
They won
31 to 27 or 31-30, and
over?
Anthony Totri is sick. The
Totri,
Chargers going Chargers.
So
Chargers going Chargers.
Chargers just collapsed.
What about the locksmith though? 27-point lead.
27
on the road.
Lead on the road.
Wow.
That's a good story.
That is a good story.
That's a good story.
Good thing I get a free bet back from DraftKings.
Well, I don't get that free bet back. Where's my locksmith now?
No, you get a free bet back if you lose on the wild. If you place a bet up to $10 on wild card and lose, you get it back.
I'm going to do another segue now.
Okay.
Before we talk about how comfortable we are, Petey, did you want to make us uncomfortable by talking about Minnesota anymore since they played in Minnesota tonight?
No, although, did you see how cold it was on the outdoor rinks? Have you ever practiced on an outdoor rink?
I have.
In your life?
Yes, I have.
So
it sucks.
I know we're going to talk about how comfortable these chairs are in just a second, but playing in an outdoor rink sucks.
Yep.
It's fine on a Saturday morning with your buddies and you're wearing your winter gloves. Fine.
Still can't keep your toes warm.
Buddy,
There's no way.
I was a goalie.
Yeah, same.
And you're out in the... Guess what you can't wear when you're playing goal on an outdoor rink? Can't wear freaking mittens because you got to wear your goalie gloves.
And they don't keep your hands
And you
warm.
take a slap shot off a frozen finger.
Or a toe or a...
No shit.
I played at the Deerfield Bubble, which must have been, it should have been an outdoor rink because it was just
literally a
bubble
hut.
stretched and no heat, nothing in it, and wind blowing through it. And Deerfield was a bad team. I faced 9 shots in the game. So you can imagine what I was doing. Standing still in the ice.
Well, if you
cold.
played
It
for
was
Chicago
horrible.
Blackhawks, you would have given up 7.
It's true.
Sorry.
Anyway.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so
Leah.
No,
now,
you're good.
so I wasn't comfortable. But I'm comfortable in these chairs.
I am too.
And I hope, we were talking about all the travel. Like, listen, for these Coyotes players, when they are home, I hope they have more furniture
I do
because
too.
rest and relax in the most comfortable, the best looking furniture around town. Of course, it's More Furniture, and they have the best furniture in the Valley. So check them out. That's morefurniture.com, morfurniture.com, and it's time to buy that piece of furniture you've been procrastinating buying. Check out More. We love it, and we love these chairs immensely. I had illegal Pete's this week, and I ate the queso and then I saved it and I just kept reheating it and eating it because I wanted to make it last forever, because Illegal Pete's queso is so good. It's just so good. I love it so much. I love Illegal Pete's in general, obviously. And if you've never been there, check it out on Mill Ave, or if you're in Tucson, on University.
Very close to the mullet.
Very close to the mullet, and we may have some me-game. I was about to say pre-game meetups, and I literally said me-game.
Me-game prenups?
Me-game prenups, what? At Illegal Pete's. So that's in the works, so stay tuned for that. But if you have yet to try Illegal Pete's, try it. And if you're on, if it's a new year, if you're trying to eat healthier, you can curate what you order based on any dietary need that you have. So check it out.
But you still try the queso, even if you try to eat healthy.
Try the queso. And Illegal Pete's, it's always our go-to spot for burritos and beer and margaritas and good times. So check out Illegal Pete's if you haven't already. All right. Well, we already kind of talked about everything that happened in the NHL.
Yeah. Thank you, Columbus. No, thank you to the other 3 teams.
Yay, Columbus. Boo, Montreal. Yay, Philly. Boo, Chicago. Boo, Vancouver. So
there you go.
There's our recap.
But the Coyotes kept pace.
But it could have,
right?
if the Blackhawks
goaltenders
had shown up tonight.
Yeah.
If the Blackhawks goaltenders had shown up tonight, it could have been down to 3 points across the board.
Crazy.
Yep.
All 3, the Ducks, Columbus Blue Jackets, and Blackhawks would have been tied 3 points away from the Coyotes.
And the Ducks is the one that I kept saying, look out, because I keep thinking Chicago, and you see it again, it's the goddamn goaltending.
Yeah, the goaltending's
like
horrific.
they're not the team, they're not the 32nd worst team. They're not. And it's just their goaltending has been so horrific that they can't compete. Yep. And I keep saying this with Tennessee and Max Domi and Kane and Taves and Jones. This team isn't a bad hockey team. They're just getting bad goaltending. And does it matter? I guess when they picked the ping pong ball with the Blackhawk logo on it, does it matter that their goaltending was bad? Or did they just replace Kane with a new generational player?
Stop it.
And Anaheim, they're 3 points from Anaheim now, and I thought that would never happen. I really didn't. They're 3 points from the Ducks right now.
Anaheim is a negative 81 goal differential halfway through the season.
That is absolutely insane. Halfway through the year. Absolutely insane.
Averaging getting outscored by 2 goals.
That's insane.
That's nuts.
Yeah, so it just shows that I know we had a lot of hype in the first 30 games of the season, but with they're losing 8 straight now, the Coyotes are officially in, they're in.
Oh, yeah. They're in the mix, baby.
Oh, yeah. Let's go. LFG. And
I'm all about the Bedard train now. Woohoo. Let's go.
All aboard.
All aboard.
All aboard the tank.
After seeing this kid play, let's go.
Well, and after listening to Chris Peters, I got to admit, it was like listening to the gospel.
Literally,
after
it
that,
was.
I was like, okay.
I was so inspired.
Yeah, I get it.
I was so inspired.
Yes.
We should we should doctor that clip of Chris Peters. We should put like a clerical collar on him,
or he says it and then you just hear
angels. Yes,
yeah, singing.
Yeah, Joel made a good point, and that's what he's
Chicago
talking
needs
about.
a wedgie.
Wedgie, like Wedgwood, what he did for this team last year, at a time when this team needed it. He not only helped propel this team out of the losing streak, but he helped propel his career. Like Wedgie made a career out of last season now, and he signs a new contract. Like Chicago, get him. Go get him. Go get Wedgie.
not happening.
Go get Karel Vejmelka.
They're not trying to win.
Yeah, nope. Die hard for Bedard, as Nicholas has reminded us. We appreciate it. Let's take a look at the Coyotes' upcoming schedule. We already touched on it, but just to look at what's coming up. Winnipeg, obviously, we talked about. Detroit, Washington. Oh, that Ovechkin is scoring some goals here.
84 behind Wayne Gretzky. Wayne
we
Gretzky
are
now.
like all struggling tonight, clearly.
He's 84 goals behind Wayne Gretzky now. And I did the math today, and he is on pace to catch him late next season.
Wow.
Late
at the
next
mullet
season.
is what I'm putting
because
out there.
he's going to blow past 50 goals again this season.
That's insane.
At age 37.
That's
crazy.
insane.
And then speaking of Wedgie, Dallas next Saturday, back on the road because the schedule makers hate the Coyotes so much.
They do. That's after that long fort. And look at the back-to-back in a row. You still can't come home because the 16th is, again, I keep saying it, the day after coming home from a different time zone is a wasted day.
Yep.
Sorry. They might even be, you might be able to practice that day at 2 or 3 in the afternoon, maybe, but they won't.
Yeah, that's yikes.
So no more practice time. And Detroit loses tonight, but Detroit's playing better hockey right now. That's not a gimme. That by no means is a gimme.
That's the winnable game on the schedule.
It is. And we said that a week ago. That was the winnable game.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I don't like that Dallas one either.
And then this losing streak could keep on chugging along.
8 straight.
8 straight losses, like last year at the beginning and the end.
So what? After Dallas, then we talked about the Anaheim game. By the way, I did check. That is the last game in the league that night. There's a game that starts a half hour earlier in LA, but that is the last game.
No one will be talking about the NHL later than we will that day.
Maybe we just won't talk about
there'll be
the NHL.
players on a plane to Cancun,
right?
And we're going to be
anybody
talking
who
about
wants
this game.
NHL talk at whatever it's going to be like 11,
Like 11?
something.
We'll be on until midnight.
Tune into us. We'll be the only people.
Hey, but you know what happens when our show starts after 11
dark?
p.m. PHNX Coyotes after dark.
PHNX after dark.
Wild.
Could be.
Wild. We do have another super chat. I wanted to make sure we didn't skip over it, but another question from Altek.
Oh no.
ZZ. I don't know if we're gonna be able to answer. Did Michael? I don't know how to say his last name. Chaput.
Yeah.
Only play in the 25th
Chaput.
anniversary Kachina with the silver line numbers, or did he play in the regular Kachina as well?
Holy
Wow, that's a deep dive.
Deep dive.
I don't know. I got nothing.
Wow. I mean, how were you begin to look at
I
that?
don't even know how to say his name. Michael
Chaput.
Chaput.
Like shampoo.
Chaput.
But I don't know. Where would you even look? Like, how many games did he end up playing for the Coyotes?
I'm not sure. Okay,
he was up and down. I'm seeing what.
Okay, we'll let PD research that. And in the meantime, let's look at the punch card, which we're now officially 1 game past the halfway mark.
See, and I wasn't even here when you guys got to throw this up.
I know. Look at that line.
We're past the halfway mark.
Yep.
That is just when we hit the All-Star break, we're going to be at the 50-game mark. And that, for me, more so than the halfway mark, when I get to 50 games, I'm like, all right.
It's like when you're running and you can see the finish line. You're like, okay, I can push through it. Like, it hurts a little bit, but you can see the light at the end.
When did they bring back the? Yeah, it would have been the silver lined ones in 21-20. So I don't think he ever did wear the regular ones.
There you go.
All right.
Because he only played 2 games the year before. He only played 2 games.
I have no idea if
year.
you're right or not.
Me either, but
He played 15 career games with the Coyotes, 15 2-in-1 season, and they weren't full-time Kachina then. And then when they were full-time Kachina, he might be right that they were the silver line. That is the most obscure question for a player that most people have never heard of.
Yeah, wow. Thank you for your question, though, and for your super chat. We appreciate it.
Oh, somebody else got that. Well, just let them do that. Why did I even look it up? Chris had it.
There it is.
Wow. Thank you. I know. We can always depend on the
that's
chat.
why I want it, because he wants
a customized.
Kachina customize it, but I don't want the 25th anniversary. There you go.
Oh, the more
you can get it. You can order it now. Just get it with Chaput on it. Chaput.
Chaput.
Bonjour.
The Coyotes they're back and forth on the road, back on the road, off, whatever. But they are home during the week, this week and next. So if you want to catch a game, head on over to Game Time to get your tickets. Buy your tickets last minute. Save up to 60% off. Buy your parking pass on Game Time. Go to a Coyotes game. Go to a Suns game, maybe. But hey, experience the mullet. And you can also buy concert and show tickets on Game Time as well. The best way to support us is by using the link below in the description. So please do that. And then let us know what events you are going to. And Craig mentioned his story coming, Q&A with Rick bonus, but also some Die Hard only content as well. So become a Die Hard today so you can have access to those stories. You also get your own zip up that only you can buy as a Die Hard. You get 20% off merchandise, 20% off events like the one we had last night, which we already talked about, how amazing that was. So lots of perks to becoming a Die Hard. Head on over to gophnx.com/diehard to become a Die Hard today and join our Discord as well. It's a grand old time. And you're not just in the Coyotes Discord, you're in all the Discords. And I have to give a shout out to the D-backs Discord for perhaps being the most chaotic and hilarious Discord channel in our Discord besides Coyotes. But
well, I don't know if ours isn't chaotic.
Ours isn't chaotic. D-backs, just go in from today to this morning and just scroll. You'll see what I mean.
Yes.
For diehards only. And now wrapping up this show, I'm giving the mic to Sean DePaz, who is finally back. I think it's been whoa. I think it's been like
larger than life.
Whoa!
Oh my God!
I've been away for too long.
Sean's been gone for so long. Like, I don't know the last time you produced us. At least
it's been a while,
like almost 2 weeks. But Sean had a nightmare travel getting back from Buffalo, and we share our nightmare travel stories on this show all the time. So, Sean, without further ado, let's hear about your trip back from Buffalo.
All right, so I was supposed to come home last Wednesday. Well, I did come home last Wednesday, but if you didn't see, the FAA had a whole outage.
Oh, we saw.
Yeah, and a bunch of flights got delayed. I was supposed to fly from Buffalo to Detroit to Phoenix on Delta. But my first flight was delayed, but of course my connecting flight was not. So I was going to miss my connecting flight. I called Delta. They try and do me a solid. They rebook me on a flight from Buffalo to Chicago on United, and then Chicago to Phoenix on American.
That sounds complicated.
But the problem is the guy had no way of knowing if the flight that he booked me was delayed. Of course, it was. The first one was delayed. The connecting flight was not. So I, again, was going to miss my connecting flight. But since everyone, Delta booked it on 2 other airlines, all the airlines were like, we can't help you. You got to talk to the other one. And so no one helped me. So I was basically like, you know what? Fuck it. We're just flying to Chicago. We'll figure it out when we get there. Luckily, I get there. It's about 15 minutes delayed, so I have to break and do essentially a dead sprint full across O'Hare Airport.
That's a big airport, too.
It's quite a large airport. I was out of breath. I thought I was going to tear a hamstring. I felt the tightness in my legs. It was tough. But I make it. Fine. I get there. No emergency landings or anything, so y'all still got that on me. I land in Phoenix. Everything's cool. I go to the baggage claim. I'm waiting. The bags keep going around and around and around, and there is no bag for me. So after all of this, my bag is somewhere in the abyss. I have no idea where it is. 2 days later, last night, finally, it was delivered. So I had my bags. I got here safely, but not without having to work for it.
Wow.
So that is my and yes, to Karen's point, I had to switch terminals. So I was going from terminal B to K or something. I don't know.
Can't stand that.
It was
Can't
crazy.
Stand it.
It was crazy.
You know what this sounds like to me?
What's that?
A typical travel day for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's crazy. Yeah. Exactly. Books through Craig S. Morgan Travel Company. Right
but
there.
I at least
Buddy,
got
I'm
to
sorry
see.
if I've jinxed you somehow simply by being
associated with you. I at least got to see the Sabres win while I was there. Oh wait, no, I didn't, because they lost 0-4 and then 5-2 to the Kraken, who are a wagon. So
they are a wagon.
But I did see some AHL hockey in Syracuse, and I saw the Crunch versus the Amerks, and there was a line brawl to end the game that included Malcolm Subban, which was awesome. So it ended up being outside of me having to turn into a professional athlete to make a flight.
Well, we're glad you're
well,
back.
yeah, we are so
Thank
happy
you.
you're back.
Thank
The
you. You got the punch card back.
card was
Yeah,
out of commission.
y'all didn't miss me. You just missed the punch card.
No,
We missed
we
you,
did,
buddy.
and the chat missed you as well. And here comes Shane
know,
chiming
the
in on
locksmith.
his bets.
Also, shout out to Kenny Dietz if you're still in the chat.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
he DM'd me making sure, like saying that he hoped I got my bags and stuff, and I appreciated that. So
That's really
thank
cool.
you.
Thank you, Kenny, for doing that. I did say everyone tweet at Sean, and only Kenny did.
Yeah, blatantly Asinine wasn't in tonight, was he? Because I still got to talk about that face-off from 2 games ago.
Oh, yeah.
I'll DM him.
Yeah.
I'll DM him.
But anyway, Shane chiming in. Brandon Staley needs to be jailed. That's his 2 cents on that game. But we're gonna close on this final note that Craig just because it is kind of dire.
It's kind of
dire
this
note.
is our plug for going to go PHNX Sports, right?
Yeah, listen, the Cardinals just cleaned house. In 2023, today's January 14th, 2023, the Suns are 1-7, Cardinals 0-2, and just fired their head coach and GM's not coming back. Coyotes are 0-7. At least the D-backs haven't lost.
So Valley Pro Sports Teams.
Woo!
a collective
Arizona
1-1
basketball.
win.
lost to Oregon.
Yeah, what happened to
2023.
ASU though?
I
How
don't
did
know
ASU do
anything
today?
about that.
1-16.
ASU
16,
basketball
buddy.
is a wagon though, so at least we're
Mm.
holding the
ASU
water.
basketball is a wagon right now.
We're holding the water for the state.
rolling 15
That's what we do.
wins right now, buddy. Like we're approaching.
Hey, Bobby Hurley, Pac-12 Coach of the Year. Start the conversation.
But I'm just saying,
Streets are talking.
like I asked you guys in the chat today, how many more games they're going to win out of their final 13? The consensus was 9. That gets them to 24.
Yeah,
Two
Check
more
out
wins.
PHNX Sun Devils.
2 more wins, and you're in Ned Wolk territory. That going back that far for how long it's been since they won that
Who?
many games.
Check out PHNX
Exactly.
Sun Devils for more on this
Mhm.
conversation.
Well, at least the team's winning.
yeah, I know.
Exactly.
Yeah, damn straight.
But-
you
but-
and they can't
but-
relate.
But are there Coyotes not winning in a way?
The Coyotes are winning.
Isn't that
Although
plan?
I don't know because the Chicago is
when
just
that ping pong ball comes up with the whirling head Coyote, buddy, it's a win.
It's a Kachina.
Then we're all we could go 0-35.
HK.
Connor Bedard is
If
coming
Connor
here.
Bedard is a
till
Coyote.
draft day.
HKT double D. HK
HK
till draft
till
day.
draft day.
Let's
Yep.
go.
By the way, I
Look,
did just
would
get
be-
my free bet back. Here's
Did you?
the literal email.
The 3
With your
unbelievable
first pick.
summers
You
in a
had to
row.
pick-
I would
it
use
had to
it
be
on the
$10.
Arizona State men's basketball team
It had to be
because they win
$10.
games.
Up to 10.
Summer of 2021, Logan Cooley, Connor Geeky, and Maverick,
and
Maverick
Summer's
Lamoureux.
saying-
That's 22.
Sorry, 22. Summer of 2023, Connor Bedard. Summer of 2024, Austin Matthews. Summer
things are looking
2025,
up.
Tage
Parade
Thompson.
down Mill Avenue. Just
100%
saying.
agree. 100%. And Logan Cooley, some are saying a redraft might be number 1.
You know, they even have those like New Orleans style buildings on Mill Ave.
They
So you're throwing beads and stuff off of there. I'm seeing it.
They do on the
I'm seeing
patios.
the whole thing, yeah.
Buddy, I like it.
By the way,
2025, 2026.
by the way,
maybe?
I did
26.
Craig will be in his walker with his
The
new
second
hip.
hip will have just
Yeah,
been
your new
replaced.
hip's
yeah.
just coming in. Well, it will be because we'll have to be moving stuff to do the show. Nope, sorry, I can't. I got another new hip. We got to do stuff for the parade. Nope. Whoa, you guys
Craig's
got
probably
it.
going to be on one of the floats or something.
He would
like
probably
that.
be
Oh,
on one of the
yeah.
floats.
Oh, yeah.
Is that Craig S. Morgan? I did have a guy ask me last night. He said, "Congratulations on the award." I did get that. I swear I did. Because Craig and I can see it.
Yeah, definitely. I did
Sorry.
run a tankathon simulation today that had Arizona winning the draft lottery and Buffalo second. Which I
Damn.
think was
There it is.
That
be
would be
the
But
most-
unreal.
that Buffalo pick will be the Coyotes when they get traded for Jacob Chikrin.
And Tage Thompson.
for the PHNX Coyotes show. That would be the most unreal thing
Unreal.
to happen.
Unreal.
So-
1-2.
We'll end on that.
Yes.
Wheel of Fantasy moment. We appreciate you all so much for tuning in. We'll be right back here tomorrow for our post game show
That we will.
after the Coyotes probably lose to the Winnipeg
In the
Jets
peg.
for their 9th straight loss, but we'll see. So be sure to subscribe to PHNX Sports on YouTube. Follow PHNX Sports across all social platforms and follow PHNX_Coyotes on Twitter. You can follow us at Craig S. Morgan, at Leah Merrill, at S. Peters Hockey, at Sean_DePaz. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night, everyone, and we will see you tomorrow.